She was stuck, not because of her skill, not because of her schedule, but because of a belief that didn't even belong to her. And when she realized where it came from, everything changed. So let me tell you what happened. Once upon a time, we have a stylist on our team, service provider on our team. She's absolutely brilliant, kind, and so talented. But she kept bumping up against the same wall, timing. And her explanation, it's hard to educate with this schedule. Or she would say, it's hard to get fully booked this way. Or, Jen, the styles were way more complicated than the styles are way more complicated than when you did hair. And I lightly chuckled. Now, I could have responded with strategy, but I didn't. I asked her one simple question. Where did those beliefs come from? And she paused. And then she said something that cracked me wide open. She said, honestly, I didn't even realize I had taken on this belief. Someone said that to me once, not too long ago, and I think I just took it on. That right there, that's what most leaders miss. She wasn't stuck because of her schedule. She was stuck because of a belief that didn't even belong to her. That's what propaganda does. And I don't just mean political propaganda. In the salon world, it can sound like, hey, commission salons are dying, or no one wants to work anymore, or you cannot double book these days because services are so much more complicated. And you hear it enough times, you start to believe it. And then you lead from fear, not fact. But here's the gift we can give our teams, it's called discernment. And discernment says, wait, is this even true? Is that belief helping me or holding me back? Is this mine or something I inherited? And when you coach with discernment instead of propaganda, you stop repeating patterns and help them start rewriting potential. That moment was the spark behind what we now call the S.C.A.L.E framework. It's the tool we use and teach to help salon owners and leaders coach with clarity. So I'm going to break it down for you today. So the S stands for spot a win. Spot a win. So you start every coaching conversation on a high note, not because it's fluffy, but because it's actually neuroscience. And when you celebrate progress, even small wins, it lights up the brain and opens the heart. So let's move to the next letter, C. And this stands for clarify the gap. Clarify the gap. This is where belief meets data. Clarity comes from the root word actually meaning clear. You're not just saying do better, you're actually saying, hey, here's where you are, here's where you want to be, let's figure out what's in between. This is where you get to use numbers, use feedback, use observation, but most of all, stay curious, not critical. You're not correcting, you're revealing clarity. And so then if we move to the A in the S.C.A.L.E framework, this stands for align to the system. So align to the system. Coach to the system, not your opinion. If everyone on your leadership team gives feedback based on what works for them, your team gets confused, and confusion kills momentum. You see, when you coach back to the shared process, whether that's your sales system or your rebooking method or your guest experience steps, everyone grows inside the same structure. And that structure, that's what builds safety, because people don't move when things are fuzzy. They move when they can see the next step. It's not a to-do list. It's actually a coaching mindset, one that helps you build your team, not just manage them. So if we move to the L, this stands for lead with role playing and a plan. Lead with role playing and a plan. Your team doesn't need a pep talk, they need a next step. And when you give someone a clear, specific direction, something they can act on right now, you replace overthinking with ownership. Also, give them the opportunity to role play the plan out. That's what leadership is, not talking more, but helping someone move with confidence. And then if we drop it down to the E, this is where we're going to elevate the identity. And finally, E is the most important part. Elevate the identity, because you're not just coaching behavior, you're actually shaping belief. Just like what I mentioned before, she was carrying around that belief, so we had to reshape that belief. You see, every time you coach someone, you're helping them become the next version of themselves. Maybe it's the confident service provider, maybe it's the trusted advisor, or the six-figure beauty pro, or maybe it's even a future mentor. You see, people don't rise to outcomes, they rise to identity. And when you say the quiet potential out loud, it could sound like this: Hey, I see a leader in you, or you showed up like a mentor today. You give them something to grow into. That's what transformation, and that's where transformation lives. And that's what scale unlocks. Here's what most leaders get wrong. They think coaching means correcting, but real coaching isn't about calling people out. It's about calling them up to their full potential, up to their next level, up to a version of themselves they can't quite see yet, but you can. So let me ask you this. What if your team's not unmotivated? Maybe they're just unclear. What if your next level isn't about hiring more, but about coaching better? So if you've ever wished someone handed you a roadmap for coaching your team with confidence, this is it. The SCALE framework is what we teach inside Salon Business School. It's not theory, it's a tool. And we've watched salon after salon transform because of it. And if we want to give you a free gift today, it actually comes from the science of scaling. The SCALE framework is not in there, but it's a great way to think about scaling your business to the next level. And part of that is coaching your team using the SCALE method that we use. So if you text the word SCALE, S.C.A.L.E, to 469-283-5590, we'll get you your copy, because your team doesn't need more pressure. They need your belief. And belief starts with how you coach. And so let's go build this together.